3,
2,
1.
Welcome to May I Be
podcast, where we tell our stories, reflect, and gently call in love, courage, and joy. This is Mary.
And this is Shane.
For episode 2, we wanted to review our 2021 vision boards and just take a moment to reflect about how far we've come and things that we would like to keep for the next year, because 2021 is already coming to an end.
I know.
Oh,
so sad.
I know. The year just flew by. I know everyone's been saying that, but it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Time is of the essence.
Yes. So, Mary, what is the most important lesson you learned this year?
The most important lesson? There's a lot, but let's see. What did I want to talk about? What did I want to share? What do I want to share? I learned that taking care of myself is really hard. But it's worth it. It takes a lot of work. And, you know, people in their 20s, I feel like the defining theme of the 20s is learning how to take care of yourself. Been living on my own with you for almost 3 years now, and yeah, learning how, been focusing on learning how to get our basic needs met. If you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, try to get those basic needs met. Still on the first tier only, and then learning where we fit in this world, learning where I fit in this world, and learning about who I am. So it's a lot to figure out, but this year has mostly been about learning how to take care of myself, and I do not have it all figured out, but it's an ongoing process, and I think that it will continue to change depending on life circumstances and how life unfolds. But I learned a lot about the benefits of exercising, meditating, and reading, just nourishing my mind, nourishing my body, and how to be kinder to myself. So I think that the result of all of that work has been, I've learned to be more confident in myself and believe in myself more. I also learned that, so I guess 2 lessons, right? First being like, I learned how to believe in myself a little more. And then second lesson, I learned that I do experience abundance in my life. Like, I know we can both relate to this. We both grew up in low income, poor families. And yeah, I was taught to use money carefully. I was taught that money was scarce and resources were scarce. And it was always like a sad thing, knowing that couldn't buy certain things because food was more important. A roof over our heads was more important. So yeah, naturally I carry that into areas of my adulthood. This idea that there's not enough, and then there's always this desire to want more, whether that's material things or like fun, pointless experiences. And then also at the same time feeling like you are not worthy and you're not deserving of those luxurious things that life has to offer. So yeah, I thought that I've overcome this belief that I thought I've overcome the belief that I don't have enough. Because with gratitude practices, I realized, I do have enough and I'm grateful for what I have. But then sometimes you forget, right? Especially with the holidays around the corner, and you see all of these Christmas advertisements and deals and all of these great things that you could have. And then, this year too, I wanted to buy a car, but after thinking about my student loan debts and after just really prioritizing my financial situation, like I just can't buy a car this year or at this moment in time. And that decision, like I was debating about that for the longest time.
It was like either a car or like student loans.
Yeah, right? I was like, should I pay off my student loans first, or should I buy a car and just pay both pay back my debt at the same time? But that doesn't seem like the financially smart decision to do. So I was just going back and forth. But I need a car so I can get to places, so I can help my family out, so I can pick up people, so I can go here and there and whatever, right? But I think I ultimately decided that I could not and will not buy a car this year, and I would give myself more time to save up money to buy a car. But anyways, that's not the point of the story. But yeah, I was feeling like, man, it sucks that I can't buy this car. It sucks that I can't afford it. It sucks that I have all of these responsibilities that I still have, and like ultimately I can't buy a car. So that made me really sad, and I was really down about it for a while. But then like 5 days later, I know it's exactly 5 days later because I was digital journaling for a while, and so I knew exactly in that moment in time how I felt looking back through my journal. Yeah, 5 days later at work, my supervisor messaged me and she was like, "Hey Mary, part of my to-dos was to, look at I don't know, money stuff and as the CEO." And then she was like, "Yeah, I decided to give you a raise." And I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like, you've been working your butt off, so I'm gonna give you a raise." I'm like, "Oh my goodness." I was so shook. Like, I've only been there for 6 months now. And that was back in
probably like your three
3 month mark. Yeah, that was only my 3 month mark. And then I don't know, it's just really reflecting in that moment and like the few days after she told me that good news, and realizing that shit, I do experience abundance in my life. Like the universe does work in funny ways. Like it's amazing how the universe works. I was feeling so down about not having enough, but then at the same time I was working really hard and just
you were working your butt off.
Yeah, I was just working really hard, focusing on my career, trying to get places, trying to make moves in my career, and well and behold, I got a raise, and I was like, wow. And my supervisor knows I'm saving up for a car too, so she's like, you get that car, Mary. And I was like, yes, thank you so much. So I just feel so much gratitude. That's the thing though with experiencing abundance, is it's tied so closely to gratitude. Yeah, like practicing gratitude really should be a daily thing. And I do catch myself in moments where I'm observing and just looking at our apartment, and I feel so blessed to have a space to call home, have food, and have clothes, in this winter time,
have a safe space.
Exactly. And so I realized that I do experience abundance, and I am really grateful. Yeah, I love that. So that was a pretty long answer to that question. Amazing. But I think that those are like the biggest 2 lessons that I learned this year. What about you, Shane? Do you have any highlights or any lessons that you learned this year, or what would you like to share?
Yeah, so I would have to say that filming this episode was really hard for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely my worst critic. And, I think a lot of people who know me see me as a very outgoing, extroverted person. But I would say I'm very introverted at heart. I like my space. And being vulnerable and, sharing my story is not my easiest, I don't know. It's not an easy thing for me, right? I just reflecting and thinking, and it makes me want to cry. But it's okay. I will feel this out. Yes. So it did take me a really long time to reflect and think about how the year went for me. And so bear with me here, but just looking back at the vision board that I created back in December of 2020, I found that, the overarching question that I was trying to answer was, what type of person do I want to become for the future? Right? All of the small little goals that I had on my vision board was trying to answer this question. Yeah. Hold on. Whew. I need to breathe. It's okay.
Yes.
Yes. And I mean, reflecting back, it was hard. I got really frustrated at myself because, I kept thinking about all of the things that I was doing at the beginning of the year, all of the habits that I started but stopped doing. And it frustrated me, and it made me really upset. To feel, I don't know, I was feeling like a sense of shame and a sense of failure, and I was just like, okay, it's okay. Yeah. And so I know, we were having conversations back and forth about this and it being okay to take more time to reflect about 2021, but I was just kind of like, oh my god, I'm so done thinking about it. Just the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to come off as, oh, my life is perfect. There's nothing in my life right now that's like worrying me at all, but that's not true, right? And so I was really frustrated, but it's okay.
It is okay.
Yeah, it is okay. But yeah, after taking the last few days to really reflect on how the year went for me, I realized that the reason why I was feeling so low and pathetic about myself was because I was comparing myself to others, to you, to other women in my life, to people on social media, to to just people who are my age, right? And seeing my peers who are getting married, who are, getting promotions, who are buying houses, who are doing X, Y, and Z with their life, getting all these external things, and just kind of like, wow, I'm still here. And I was just in this like really negative mode where I was like being so like condescending on myself and all of the things that I have achieved. And it was hard, but after thinking all of that through, I realized that my life is full of abundance, and that this year has been full of blessings. I have learned a lot from everything that I've done, everything that I'm still doing. And what I know for sure is that the universe is abundant, and there's more than enough to go around. And so there's no reason for me to compare myself to anybody else or their journey. My journey is different, and it's okay. And so all of the things that we've learned from the self-affirmation videos, I am enough, I am abundant, there's more than enough to go around. I take all others off of a pedestal now. I think those things really got me through. And I would say that listening to Tracee Ellis Ross the other day, hearing "My life is mine, I am the lead in my own life." It was just so nice.
Hit so hard.
It hit so hard. But yes, so to bring it back to my overarching question of 2021, what type of person do you want to become for the future? On my vision board, the person that I want to become is strong and healthy in mind and body. Yes. She does yoga, she meditates, she works out, and she embodies, the confidence of all the badass women in her life, but in her own way. And, she wears what she wants.
Yes.
Says what she wants. And does not need anyone's validation. Yes. And, yeah. And more. But, hold on. Let me clear these tears.
Oh, thank you, Shane, for sharing.
Yeah.
I see you being so vulnerable right now and braving through it anyways. Right now, you're in the arena.
Yes.
You're fighting.
I am fighting.
Yes.
I am.
And you are displaying who you are right now in this moment. And I really do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're doing great.
Thank you very much. You too, Mary. Yeah, and so
this is not easy, y'all.
It is not easy. It is not easy. And yes, to continue. There's a lot more that I definitely put on my vision board, but I think ultimately I realized that the truth is I'm still very far away from being the person that I want to be, and it's okay. I should not expect myself to change 180 in a whole entire year. I think that's very unrealistic. But I think the overarching goal for me was to not seek perfection in what I did. It was not to do yoga, meditate, daily journal, do all of these stuff perfectly all the time. My goal was to just repeat the habits of this person that I really wanted to become. And I think that I accomplished that.
Yeah.
And so it's okay for me to not be her. It's okay. For now, may I accept myself exactly where I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. But yes, Mary, what about you? Sorry, it took so long to get through that.
Take all of the time that you need. So that like just resonates so deeply because I think that is like, again, one of the biggest themes of adulthood. Just learning who we are. And so we read all of these books about like self-improvement, self-help, and spirituality, just inching closer to trying to find ways and learn ways to get to where we want to be. And then again, Tracee Ellis Ross, watching her again, that video again with Oprah, and how she said that the fastest way to get to where you want to be or who you want to be is
through where you are.
Yeah, it's through where you are. And so that just means, to me, when I hear that, it just means that I just have to bring out, not have to, but be me. I don't know how else to put it. Right. And with this year, building the habits that, and then also referencing the work of James Clear, Atomic Habits, and how he says that your identity, or the habits that you embody. I'm butchering this. I do not want to butcher this. But yeah, about how your habits basically make up who you are. So if you want to be an organized person, then what does an organized person do? And then doing those habits every day. And so this year, really focusing on meditating and exercising more and just taking care of my body. But yeah, those are like new habits that I started at the end of 2020, but then consistently did for 2021, and I'm really, really proud of doing that, because I totally, like I said, like I just saw a shift in my mindset. So putting forth all of my, or most of my energy this year, I definitely put towards healing my mind and strengthening my body and really just taking care of myself. Learning who I am through those things, learning that, oh wow, I'm actually stronger than I think. Like my body can actually run a mile under 12 minutes because I've never accomplished that before. And yeah, I've become more aware of what I still have to heal from. But yeah,
I can say that I saw you go through all of the different changes or the different habits that you were trying to implement in your life. I saw your body physically improve as well, from the beginning of the year through, the end now too. It's like, dang, Mary, your back muscle is like, okay, defining itself. That booty is lifting up,
Just a little.
Yes. And it's all from, your consistent hard work, the time that you really invested in yourself and showing up for yourself. Yeah.
And then I've thanked you so many times already, but I can't thank you enough for being such a good influence in my life. Like, I appreciate you so much. And like I've said, I started my fitness journey. I was motivated and inspired to start it because I saw you doing it. You were doing it first, and I'm like, damn, FOMO, I want to do it too.
I want to say thank you too. Thank you for saying that, but then also thank you for also keeping me accountable and showing up for yourself, which motivated me to show up for myself as well, because I feel like I lose motivation so quick that when I kept seeing you do workouts, I'm just like, oh my god, this girl, she's like working out all the time. Let me get on this too.
She's at it again.
I know.
Man.
Get out of my living room. Just kidding.
Our living room.
I know. Just kidding.
But yeah, like I have weeks like that too where I haven't worked out the whole week, and then I see, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym with my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I should do that too.
Good for you.
Yeah, but good for you. And you even got me into drinking celery juice.
Oh yeah.
And you know, all of that good stuff. But
different things that we influenced each other on.
Yeah. I just want to say that I definitely saw a shift in how I showed up and presented myself to others. I have on my 2021 vision board, believe in yourself. Because I've always struggled with low self-esteem. It's just that hopefully I want to talk about trauma and childhood trauma and what that does to you. But like personally, I think a lot of neglect throughout my childhood and adolescence really shaped my low self-esteem. And so, man, I haven't actually said that word in a long time, self-esteem. Because, you know, I've been like trying to embrace self-love. Yeah. But yeah, it's been like something that I struggled with for a long time. And I saw how my low self-esteem, how it showed up in my relationships and showed up in ways that negatively impacted the relationships that I had. Like I remember, I know you remember my most, like, probably my low moments of our friendship, the low moments in our friendship where I was just not the most fun person to be around. Like sophomore year of college, like I was so toxic and I was judging everyone for every little thing and feeling like the victim and feeling like I was not understood because I needed all of this attention and validation from other people. But yeah, I think that the best thing that happened this year is just healing, like I said, healing a little more and learning how to love myself a little more. And definitely want to keep the practices and the habits that and the systems that we've put in place this year. I want to keep those and continue practicing them because I do see a benefit.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I think that I think reading Atomic Habits at the beginning of 2021 just really set the both of us off on a different trajectory, whatever. Because I think
trajectory.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. Whatever.
No, you said it right.
But yeah, because I think that it just broke down the steps to building a better habit, building a efficient, healthy habit in such an easy way that we were able to implement it into different areas of our life, right?
Yeah.
Because I would say that, you know, I used to have very low self-esteem as well. And I used to believe that, you know, I could not commit to anything. Commitment was such a big, huge, and daunting thing for me. You know, I'm just like, I don't want to say I'm committed to this because if I fail, people are going to be disappointed. And I'm going to be disappointed if I saw other people disappointed in me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot commit to... I can't say that I'm committed to this because now, you know, there's this expectation that, you know, other people are going to have, and if I don't meet those expectations, I'm going to feel so much shame, right? And reading freaking Atomic Habits, you know, just broke it down into small, digestible, step-by-step processes where it was just like, you know, you don't need to do something grand. Commitment is not a very grand thing. It's just literally consistency and repetition. Yeah, those are the two things that you just need to do, which is showing up for yourself every single freaking day. Yes. And you know, I remember just feeling so inspired, and yeah, just feeling like, you know what, there's nothing here that's really stopping me besides myself. And so if other people can do it, then why can't I, you know? And yeah, and then I remember reading Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell in 2021, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to challenge myself to be committed to this routine that I've set. I want to become this type of person who wakes up early, who is invested in her mental and physical health, and who wants to what's the word? I don't know. Gain knowledge through books and read more and just invest in herself. so that she can also invest in other people who she loves, right? And so, you know, I started waking up at 5:30 every morning, which is crazy. I've never been able to wake up at 5:30.
She did it consistently for a good while.
Yeah, for literally like 3 months. And
what's the quote that inspired you to do that?
Oh, yeah. I have it here. Okay. So in Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, there was this quote that when I read it, it just blew my mind. And it states, "No one who can rise before dawn 360 days a year fails to make his family rich." And, you know, at this point in my life, when I was reading this book, I was feeling so low about myself. I felt like I couldn't change. I felt like I was stuck. And reading this freaking quote was just like, "Durr, why the fuck?"
Mind blown.
I know. It was just like, why don't you just try?
Yeah.
You know, why are you settling for all these negative thoughts in your head, all of these limiting thoughts in your that you're making up about yourself, right? And so I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna commit to waking up at 5:30 every morning, to doing my skincare, to meditating, doing yoga, working out, listening to self-affirmation videos, feeding my soul, making myself feel good, and knowing that I am enough, right? Versus not doing anything. And so I'm just like, why don't you even just try. So I would say that, you know, also a really important, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in 2021 is you don't have to be great all the time. You know, you just have to show up for yourself, even if it's just this taking a small little step.
Suni Lee said it, y'all.
I know, seriously, I know.
Sports Illustrated award speech. You don't have to be great to start. You just have to wait.
You just have to start to be great.
Yeah. You were finished. I love that we finish each other's sentences here.
I know.
But yeah, I totally love that. And you just reminded me too with what you just said. James Clear, Atomic Habits, connects with Tracee Ellis Ross.
Yeah.
Again, like she's Tracee Ellis Ross in that video we keep referencing talks about the space, right, between where you are in the current moment and where you want to be. And then that space, right, is the scary, that middle part. That's like terrifying. Like, how do you get from point A to point B? And that's always been such a huge struggle for me too. Because I'm like, yeah, I know where I am. I know where I want to go, but I don't know how. I don't know how to get there. And then that's why Atomic Habits was so mind-blowing.
Like life-changing.
Life-changing and so helpful this year, because he literally breaks down the steps of how you can make it easier to show up for yourself and how to just change your mindset to start. Because the examples and the
change your identity.
Yeah, right? The fact that your habits are, I keep butchering this. It's like how you embody your identity. Yeah, and so that hit so hard, and I love that. I love that he has steps for me to follow and like to use and to reference so that I could build systems. Oh my God, these cars outside, y'all. I hope y'all don't hear them, but but it's super helpful if you need someone to break it down for you to how to get there. And like you said, you summarized it so well when you said that you just need to show up for yourself. And it reminded me of the anecdotes of the man who wanted to get in shape, so he just showed up to the gym for like 5 minutes and then he was out. Like
every day, just going to the gym for 5 minutes, not even doing anything, just getting there, and then
you're done. You showed up.
I know, you showed up.
And that counts.
I know. And then gradually, every single time he would go to the gym, he would be like, I'm here already. I might as well just stay
longer.
I know.
And then gradually, you can tweak. Yeah. So.
I think that's definitely something that I am learning as well, or I guess I'm still currently learning that too, is the tweaking part, the adjusting.
Sorry.
Because I mean, I used to wake up at 5:30 every morning, did my skincare, yoga, meditated, listened to self-affirmation videos, journaled, I ate breakfast, and then I started my work day great, but I can't do that anymore because, my priorities have changed. And I don't follow these routines to the T anymore. But I think ultimately what I have learned is that it's not about doing everything in the specific order that you had it previously. It's about adjusting, and then also what you have learned from doing all of these different practices is you can pick and choose when you want to do them. Well, I just think that starting my year off with that consistent routine has just made me better. In what ways? I have no idea.
It has.
I'm just kidding.
It's just, I think with me and it's just like we're learning.
Yeah.
We are learning and we are trying. We are showing up, not consistently, but we're trying, you know, and I think they count. Like just the start of it. Yeah.
And I guess what I was trying to say was I was just trying to say that, you know, I don't do those routines consistently anymore because I feel like I can trust myself now to make calls that are right for me in this moment, and how I'm feeling, what I can and cannot do. I think that at one point I started to feel like, oh, I had to do all of these things, right? Versus when I didn't have time to do it, I would feel so bad, right? It was kind of like, oh, I missed yoga today. Oh, dang, okay, now I have to make up for it. Oh, I missed meditation today. Oh, okay, now I have to make it up. And it felt like this thing that I had to constantly check off. But I realized that it's not a checklist of things that you need to do. It's about adjusting your schedule to fit what you currently need. And I can say for sure that I have learned I don't need to do every single thing on my list. It's just picking and choosing what I want.
Yeah, what works that day in that moment. Yeah, it's not like a chore.
Yeah, a chore.
It's not a chore.
A chore.
So, Shang, who do you want to become next year?
I still want to become this person.
Yes.
That I have on my vision board. Who is confident in her body, who is a badass bitch, you know.
Badass bitch.
Yes, strong and healthy in mind and body, who is career driven and also financially happy. And my life and her life is abundant, okay? And I want to be able to, you know, balance family, work, personal life.
And you?
And personal life. That's it. And me.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear and me.
and me.
Yes.
I'm like speaking of first person, third person,
I know.
fourth person. I'm
But
sorry.
sometimes it helps do that, right?
It does. Yeah. And I guess the person I want to be for next year is also someone who is able to face adversities and challenges. And she's able to cope and work through her feelings and just everything that's going on, feel her feelings, and, you know, when she can't be there to support herself, be able to rely on the people around her too.
Yes, you
got
got
I feel
me.
like, yeah, because I feel like it's so hard for me to like ask for help. I think that's one thing that I want to work on is asking for help, saying no when I want to, you know, when I need to. And yeah. Yes. What about you, Mary?
Who do you want to become next year? A fearless, sexy me.
Yes! I love it.
So yeah, I just want to share too that growing up, I was taught to hide my body and to cover up, to not wear anything too revealing, not wear anything too tight. And then my mom would give me like the look, right? If I ever dared to wear anything that was too sexy. And she would also directly just say, change out of those clothes. Like, that's not appropriate. And what that did to me, it's still with me to this day. So to this day, I'm not 100% comfortable in my body. I still feel like I have to hide it. And because like men, right? I was taught that men are predators. And I was taught to fear my body. And that my body was dangerous, that if I were to reveal it, then I would put myself in danger.
Right. it's your fault if anything happens, right?
Exactly. That's why.
Yeah.
Ooh, don't get me started on.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But I think I am doing better. I still second guess myself with outfit choices, but I do want to say that it's really empowering though when I see women who wear whatever they want and they are like just comfortable in their skin and they're just confident and they're working it. And I want to practice that too. But each to their own. If you want to cover up, you do what makes you feel good. But I do want to practice being a more expressive and confident me, and then it's not just next year, but like right now. Right now, in this moment, I want to be a fearless, sexy me. And what does that look like? I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty, I think that's.
I guess to end it off. So, do you want to just do a high-level summary of all your achievements of this year? Do a shout out for yourself?
Yes, why not? Summary of achievements this year. I got my license. I know, right? I'm like in my mid-20s and I just got my license this year. Hey, don't judge.
There's no timeline.
There's no timeline. Everyone has their own time, okay? So I got my license. I got a new job related to web and graphic design, which was the career that I wanted to get into. And I can run a mile under 10 to 12 minutes. That was a goal of mine, just because I wanted to challenge myself, because I never was able to run under 12 minutes. And I started a YouTube channel with my sister that is on hiatus right now, but want to start that back up. And this podcast! We started this podcast! So, good job, friend. And me. Yeah. What about you, Shane?
Yes. So a few of my achievements this year was I too also started a new job this year back in January. It's almost my 1 year anniversary. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
And it's been amazing, honestly. I couldn't ask for a better workplace, for a better position, for a better manager. Everything has been working out. I would say I'm very blessed to be where I am. And then the second thing was I was able to explore or go out and explore nature and go on a few trips with my partner and his family. And so we went to South Dakota and we were exploring some of the state parks there. And then we also went on I tagged along on a family trip to Utah. We went to Bryce Canyon and we went there. I know. And so being able to share that with, my partner and his family, it just felt so serene and nice. And and then we also went to Zion, which sadly you and I could not go to Zion when we went on our road trip.
Yeah, we drove through it.
Yeah, part of it. Right. And so being able to actually go and explore Zion National Park, that was a blessing. And then I would say another achievement was I read a lot of books. I mean, that was on my to-do list of things to do. And I did read a lot of books. There were a lot of books that I left unfinished, but it's okay.
You started.
I know. I started, and I'm still going to finish it. There's still time.
Yes.
I'm not going to finish all 10 books that I have pending, but I will finish one of them. Yeah. I still have, 14 days until the end of the year. And then, my last achievement would be we started this podcast together. My best friend and roommate and sister. So I couldn't have asked for anything better than this. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm grateful for you.
I am grateful for you too.
But yes, so thank you so much, everyone, for listening.
Thanks for tuning in. Yes. Remember to follow us on Instagram at May I Be Podcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we are also on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts, so you can check us out there if you prefer those platforms. All right, that's all. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.